All right, again, this is a 2014 Volkswagen Tiguan. I'm sorry about the music in the background. This is Jim across from me. But I'm gonna replace these brake pads without using a scanner. These electronic brakes on these newer cars require a scanner to activate the parking and the braking and the calipers and the pistons and all that jazz. So I'm gonna show you how to do it without the scanner, simply by removing the plug right there and hooking up a hot wire to the motor on this right here. All right, so once we got the caliper loose, I forgot to mention the bolts in the back are 13 millimeter. You want to pull the caliper off, and you kind of like want to let it rest on something around here. All right, so you want to remove the brake pads. So these are pretty bad. Same to the other side. Sorry for the shaky camera. All right, so here's what you want to do. See this plug right here? See this whole unit right here? This is the motor right here. This is the motor that spins the piston right here. That either retracts it or it pulls it out. So what you want to do is you want to unplug it from right here. Carefully. Remember, this is plastic. It's a German car. These things get brittle and they break easily. All right, you got to be really careful with this plug right here. Again, remember, it's German. These plastics get brittle. What you want to do is push down on this pin right here and carefully pull this part off right here. It'll come off right here. All right, I can't do it with one hand, but you get the idea. Just be careful with it. What you want to do is you want to grab yourself a bucket so you can put it level where it was at originally. You want to set the caliper right here. This is the only way you can do it. This is the only space it gives you because of the line here. But you can see right here, you got the plug that goes to the motor right here. It's exposed already. So what you want to do is you want to grab yourself a 12-volt battery. So I think you kind of know where I'm going with this. This is going to spin the motor. It's going to be hit and miss. You got to find out. It doesn't say here where what is plus or minus, which is power or ground. So you're going to have to mix it up like this. The worst that can happen is it'll pull out. If not, just twist it around and go back the other way until it fully stops. You'll know when it stops. All right, so this is what I'm talking about here. It's hard to do it with one hand. I can't do it while holding the camera, but you see the two prongs in there, the plugs. You want to connect these two cables to the hot and to the ground, and you'll hear the motor spin. And when it stops, that's when it's completely closed. Okay, with the motor completely closed now, what this is going to allow you to do is put a clamp on here, a C clamp, and it's going to allow you to close the piston now. All right, one more thing I forgot to mention. This motor right here, the housing is plastic. So when you go back here to clamp it down and crank it in, be really careful. Don't crank it too hard because this is plastic right here. And again, this is German. These plastic will crack easily. All right, so the caliper is all pushed back in. Now you can easily set the caliper back in. So I'm doing this with one hand, so it's kind of hard. There you go. All right, so that's all set. You want to set the screws in, hold it in place. Do the same at the bottom. And then you want to plug it in. Let me see if the camera can catch it. Snaps in. All right, so I'm gonna tighten this all down, then I'll show you how to reset the with the parking brake. Caliper's on, everything is torqued down. So still has plate because I have to reset the parking here, the brake with the parking brake inside. I'm gonna show you that right now. All right, I always torque my bolts down to 95. I gotta go retarded with it. There you go. Harbor Freight Warriors. All right, so to reset the parking brake, you want to set the e-brake, right? It's gonna be hard to hear because there's a gym across and there's a lot of noise there. So okay, so to reset the the brakes again, the rear brake. You have to get in the car, turn the key on to the start position, not the run position, and you want to set your e-brake, which is this button right here. You're gonna probably hear the motor in the background. Everything is closed in, so you might not hear it because again there's music playing across from me. There's a gym, but you set this I don't know if you can hear it. Okay, that was the noise. I don't know if the camera picked up on it, but the brakes are reset now. All right, I like to start the car up and give it a couple of pumps, right? Make sure everything's kosher, it feels nice and tight. Again, the brake has been reset. On this particular model, on the Tiguan, this is the emergency brake right here. Other Volkswagens might be different models. Some of them might have a handle. Alright, so this joint is done. And to all the naysayers who say you're a YouTube mechanic, man, yeah, suck an egg, man. You know what I mean? Because it's not about being a YouTube mechanic. It's about being mechanically inclined. Anybody could be a YouTube mechanic. But you have to be mechanically inclined. You have to have the tools. You have to know how to break something else to keep the part that you're replacing from breaking. There's a lot of things that go into being a mechanic. It's not just being a YouTube mechanic. You got to be mechanically inclined, know how to use your noggin, and have the right tools for the job, and not be afraid to do the jobs. All right, so I hope this helps someone else out. Yeah.